Welcome to the lecture series of signal system again. In the last lecture, we have seen the Fourier transform of some important basic signals. These are non-periodic signals which are transformed from their time domain to frequency domain by using this important and powerful tool called Fourier transform, and they also can be transformed from their frequency domain to the time domain by using inverse Fourier transform. So these relations, inverse Fourier transform and Fourier transform, are called the Fourier transform pairs. By using these two relations, we can transform one signal from frequency to time or from time domain to the frequency domain. Also, this Fourier transform can be applied to the periodic signals also. In the later and depth of the discussion, we will come to know how this Fourier transform can be applied to the periodic signals. For now, we will consider some more important and basic signals to be analyzed by using Fourier transform method. The signal is, suppose xt is given as xt is equal to 1. For this signal, xt is equal to 1, we have to find the Fourier transform. If we are trying to find the Fourier transform for this signal by using this relation, x of omega is equal to integration from minus infinite to plus infinite xt e power minus j omega t dt, then it will become value of xt is 1 e power minus j omega t dt. We will put the value of xt is equal to 1 as given in our problem. Now on integration, we will get integration limit is from minus infinite to plus infinite. Integration of e power minus j omega t will give e power minus j omega t upon minus j omega. And when we will put the limit infinite in place of t here, this will become e power minus t, and e power minus t will become 0. This is minus and this minus is plus. E power, when we will put value of t is equal to minus infinite, this power of e will become infinite. This will become infinite upon j omega, and this will lead to infinity. This is why we cannot determine the Fourier transform of the signal valued equal to 1. This is because of Dirichlet condition, which says that if this formula of Fourier transform is applicable only and only if the signal xt, if modulus of signal xt is absolutely integrable. If the integration of modulus of xt gives a finite value when it is integrated over minus infinite to plus infinite, after then only we can calculate, we can determine the Fourier transform of this signal xt. Now check whether the given signal xt is absolutely integrable or not. We will put the value of mod of xt, and this will become equal to integration of 1 is t, limit is from minus infinite to plus infinite, and this will become infinite minus minus infinite, this will become infinite plus infinite. Because the given signal xt is equal to 1 is not absolutely integrable, we cannot find its Fourier transform directly by using this relation. We have to use some indirect technique to find the Fourier transform of this signal xt is equal to 1. For that purpose, let's suppose Fourier transform of xt is x omega. If the Fourier transform of xt is x omega, and consider x omega is equal to delta omega. If this is the Fourier transform of this signal 1, then Fourier inverse of x omega will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi integration from minus infinite to plus infinite x of omega e power j omega t d omega, and this will become 1 upon 2 pi integration from minus infinite to plus infinite. In place of x omega I will put del omega here, and this will become integration of del omega e power j omega t d omega. And as we know, this function del omega will be equal to 1 for the omega is equal to 0, and this function will be equal to 0 for the all non-zero values of omega. It means that if omega is non-zero, then this integration will result in 0, and if omega is equal to 0, only then this integration will produce some value, and this will become equal to 1 upon 2 pi e power j omega t with omega is equal to 0. Only at omega equal to 0 we will find the value of this function, because this del omega will exist only for omega is equal to 0, and now this integration will become 1 upon 2 pi into e power 0. In place of omega I will put 0 here, and this will become 1 upon 2 pi. It means that the inverse Fourier transform of del omega is equal to 1 upon 2 pi. Inverse is also possible. If the Fourier transform of del omega is equal to 1 upon 2 pi, if the inverse Fourier transform of del omega is equal to 1 upon 2 pi, then Fourier transform of 1 upon 2 pi will be equal to del omega. Fourier transform of 1 upon 2 pi will be equal to del omega, and what we have to determine the Fourier transform for the given signal 1. To get the Fourier transform of 1, we have to multiply the entire equation by 2 pi. Then this will become Fourier transform of 1 is equal to 2 pi into del omega. This is what we will get for the Fourier transform of 1. Remember this value, Fourier transform of 1 will result in 2 pi del omega. Consider another function. Consider another function xt is equal to signum t, and we all are aware of definition of this signum t. This signum t exists, will give positive value when t is equal to 0, and this will give negative value when t is less than 0. Value of the signum t is minus 1 for t less than 0, and its value is plus 1 when t is greater than 0. So this can be shown as its value is 1 for t greater than 0, and its value is minus 1 for t is less than 0. For this, we can consider this function as xt is equal to limit a tends 0 e power minus a mod of t. Limit is on this constant a. In the exponential signal, when this a tends to 0, then this value will tend to 1. And when t is negative here, if t is negative, when a will tends to 0, this will become minus 1. Why? Because this e power minus a mod of t can be written as, because definition of mod of t we all know, this will be equal to minus t when t is less than 0. This will be equal to minus t when t is less than 0, and it will be equal to plus t when t is greater than 0. So when t will be less than 0, this will be equal to, when t is less than 0, in place of mod of t, I will put minus t. Then it will become e power minus a minus t when t is less than 0. And this will be e power minus a. In place of mod of t, I will put plus t when t is greater than 0. So this will become e power minus at when t is greater than 0, and this will become e power minus plus at. Means value of this function is equal to e power plus at when t is less than 0, and it will be e power minus at when t is greater than 0. Now if this constant a tends to 0, if a tends to 0, then this will give value equal to plus 1 e power, because t is negative here. So for the negative t, this will give plus 1 when t is less than 0, and plus 1 also when t is greater than 0. When a tends to 0, then this value also e power minus at will tends to 1, and e power plus at will also tends to 1 when a tends to 0. Now when t is less than 0, we want minus 1 here. To represent this function in the form of signum function, when t is less than 0, we want value of the function minus 1, and when t is greater than 0, we want value of the function as plus 1. For that purpose, we will write this function as, we will write this xt as, xt is equal to limit a tends to 0 e power minus at ut minus e power plus at u of minus t. We can write the signum function in this way. This will be equal to e power minus at when t is greater than 0, and this will be e power plus at when t is less than 0. Now we have to find the Fourier transform of this signal xt. Then x of omega will be equal to integration from minus infinite to plus infinite, limit a tends to 0 e power minus at ut minus e power plus at u of minus t e power minus j omega t dt. And this will lead to limit, I will put the limit outside of the integration, limit a tends to 0 integration, because this ut will exist only for t greater than 0, this will exist for t greater than 0 only, and this will exist, u of minus t will exist for t less than 0 only. It means that for ut we can put the limit from 0 to infinite, and for u of minus t we can put the limit from minus infinite to 0. Now this will become integration of e power minus at limit from 0 to infinite into this e power minus j omega t dt, e power minus j omega t dt minus integration. Now for u of minus t I will put the limit from minus infinite to 0, e power plus at into e power minus j omega t dt. This is what we have to calculate in this given relation. Now we all know, now this equation can be further simplified as x of omega will be equal to limit a tends to 0, x of omega will be equal to limit a tends to 0, integration of 0 to infinite, integration of e power minus a plus j omega, a plus j omega t dt minus, this is not visible, I will write again, x of omega is equal to limit a tends to 0, limit a tends to 0, this integration will become e power minus a plus j omega into t, where limit is from 0 to infinite, e power minus a plus j omega into t dt minus integration limit from minus infinite to 0, e power a minus j omega, a minus j omega into t dt. Now this is what we have to calculate to find the Fourier transform of signum t. Simply we have to apply the concept of integration and we will get the Fourier transform of signum t. This is limit a tends to 0, integration of e power minus a plus j omega, it will result in e power minus a plus j omega into t divided by e power divided by minus a plus j omega, and limit on this is from 0 to infinite minus e power a minus j omega into t divided by a minus j omega. Limit here is from minus infinite to 0, and this limit a tends to 0 will be applied on both these, and this will become now, when we will put the upper limit minus lower limit, this will become limit a tends to 0. When we will put t is equal to infinite here, this will become 0, and when we will put t equal to 0 here, this will become 1. So this will become 0 minus 1 upon minus a plus j omega, I will make it plus a plus j omega minus, again when we will put the limit 0 here, this will become e power 0 upon a minus j omega, means 1 upon a minus j omega minus 1 upon a minus j omega minus, when we will put t is equal to minus infinite, when we will put here t is equal to minus infinite, this will become e power minus infinite, which will lead to 0. Now this can again be written as limit a tends 0, and inside the bracket it is 1 upon a plus j omega minus 1 upon a minus j omega, and after putting this limit a is equal to 0, it will become, when we will put a is equal to 0, it will become 1 upon j omega plus 1 upon j omega, which is equal to 2 by j omega. It means that Fourier transform of signum t, Fourier transform of signum t will be equal to 2 by j omega. Fourier transform of signum t will be equal to j omega. Now we will process this signum t, and get some other more beneficial results, as we know the signum t can be defined as, this is for t is equal to 0, value of signum t is equal to 1, and for t less than 0, value of signum t is minus 1. If we want to plot the function 1 plus signum t, 1 plus signum t, for this function, because 1 is added in the function, this graph will move 1 unit upward. This graph will be shifted to the 1 unit upward, and this will now become, because this is shifted to the upward by 1 unit, means this minus 1, when it will be shifted upward by 1 unit, this minus 1 will become 0. So for t less than 0, this signal will be 0, and this one, when shifted upward by 1 unit, this will become 2. This is what 1 plus signum t will look like, equal to 2. And when we will plot, if we will divide amplitude of this signal, if we will divide amplitude of this signal by 2, then this will become 2 by 2, means this value now will be equal to 1. And this is what this represents which function? This is unit step function, which exists for t greater than 0, and this is 0 for t less than 0, and its amplitude is 1, that resembles to the graph of ut, and this can be represented as ut. Now in this case also, if we will try to find out the Fourier transform of this signal directly, this will give, by using the Fourier equation of Fourier transform, this will produce infinite, because this signal is also, this is not absolutely integrable in the range from minus infinite to plus infinite, because this signal ut is also not integrable. That means we cannot find the Fourier transform of this signal ut directly. That's why this signal ut is represented in the form of signum t, and the Fourier transform for the signum t is known, which is equal to 2 by j omega. Now the next function is 2 by j omega. Means if we have to find out the Fourier transform of ut. This ut will be written in the form of signum function as this is equal to this u of t is equal to 1 by 2 1 plus signum t. If we are trying to find out the Fourier transform of this ut, this can be treated as Fourier transform of 1 by 2 1 plus signum t. Fourier transform of 1 by 2 into 1 plus signum t. This will be equal to 1 by 2 Fourier transform of 1 plus signum t. This can be further written as 1 by 2 Fourier transform of 1 plus Fourier transform of signum t. We know the Fourier transform of all these signals. Fourier transform of 1 is 2 pi del omega. Fourier transform of signum t is 2 by j omega. So we can write the Fourier transform of these signals directly as this will be equal to 1 by 2. Fourier transform of 1 is 2 pi del omega, and for this it is 2 by j omega. It means that Fourier transform of ut, Fourier transform of ut will be equal to, these two will cancel each other and it will become equal to pi del omega plus 1 upon j omega. Pi del omega plus 1 upon j omega. This is another important result for which we calculated the Fourier transform. Now consider another signal, most important signal, the Fourier transform for exponential, complex exponential, and Fourier transform of sine omega t and cos omega t. These are important. Now we will calculate the Fourier transform of cos of omega t, omega naught t. Suppose this is the given signal for which we have to find out the Fourier transform. Now by applying the formula of Fourier transform, the equation directly on the edge, if we are trying to find out the Fourier transform of xt directly by using this relation xt e power minus j omega t dt, this will become complex because we have to integrate this function by using integration by part. Xt is equal to cos of omega naught t and this is e power minus j omega t. We have to integrate this, but if we convert this signal cos omega naught t as e power j omega naught t plus e power minus j omega naught t by 2, then we does not have to integrate this function directly. This Fourier transform of this signal e power j omega naught t is known, e power minus j omega naught t is known. So by using this relation we can write the Fourier transform of this signal directly as Fourier transform of cos of omega naught t, cos of omega naught t will be equal to Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t plus e power minus j omega naught t divided by 2, and this will lead to 1 by 2 Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t plus Fourier transform of e power minus j omega naught t, and this will be equal to 1 by 2 Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t is 2 pi del omega minus omega naught plus Fourier transform of this signal is 2 pi del omega plus omega naught, and this will be equal to, this 2 and 2 will cancel, and this will become pi del omega minus omega naught plus del omega plus omega naught. This is what we will get from the Fourier transform of cos of omega naught t. From the Fourier transform of cos of omega naught t, this is pi times del omega minus omega naught plus del omega plus omega naught. Now, if by using same process we can find out the Fourier transform of sine of omega naught t also. Suppose this signal xt is equal to sine omega naught t. So the Fourier transform of sine omega naught t will be equal to Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t minus e power minus j omega naught t upon 2j, and this will be equal to 1 upon 2j. Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t will be equal to 2 pi del of omega minus omega naught minus Fourier transform of e power minus j omega naught t is 2 pi del of omega plus omega naught. So this can be written as 2 pi del of omega plus omega naught, and this will be further simplified as this 2 and 2, this will cancel, this will become 1 upon j pi. We can take this pi outside of the bracket, this will become del of omega minus omega naught minus del of omega plus omega naught. Further this can be simplified as this is equal to minus j del of omega minus omega naught minus del of omega plus omega naught. This is the Fourier transform of sine omega naught t. In the coming lectures, if it is required, we will discuss the magnitude and phase spectrum of these two signals, Fourier transform of these two signals, cos of omega naught t and sine of omega naught t. So these are some basic signals. We have to remember the Fourier transform of all these signals as standard formula, and some more signals are there, like one more signal is, more important signal is gate pulse, or it is called rectangular signal, which can be written as rect t by tau. We will consider this signal in the coming lecture. So this is all for this lecture. Thank you.